Hi, my name is Kelly, and today we're going to be exploring whether I should send my child to school or not. Now, for many parents, they are now faced with the decision: do I send my child to school or do I keep them home? And if we look closely at the question, it isn't really about sending your child to school or not. It is about, is it safe to do so? Is it beneficial for my child and for myself and my family? So, how can we reach a decision that leaves us empowered? Because let's face it, sometimes when we're trying to reach a decision, we often have a nagging feeling that something's not right, something's wrong, I've missed something. Have you ever had that? And it eats away at you. And if you're not fully certain or feeling confident about that, it can leave you feeling anxious or agitated, and that will have a knock-on effect with your children. They will pick up on it, and it can induce anxiety or agitation in your child. So how can we avoid that? Well, first of all, we can make a list of all the reasons for sending our child to school and all the reasons for not sending your child to school. So it may look something like, if I send my child to school, they may feel alienated because their friends are not attending. If I send my child to school, they may feel resentful because they want to be at home. If I send my child to school, they may get COVID-19. Or it could be, if I send my child to school, they will catch up on the curriculum. If I send my child to school, they will be able to socialize with their friends. If I send my child to school, I'll be able to do more work from home. So list everything. And then once you've done that, remove any judgment, remove any story you've created behind that. And by that, what I mean is any attachment. So for example, if I do this, I'm a bad parent. If I don't do this, I'm failing them. And try to remove any other people's opinions. Everyone's going to have their opinion. But at the end of the day, as the parent of the child, it's your choice. And that's the fine line. It's up to you what you feel most comfortable with as a parent, and it's your right. Remember, schools are there as an institution to support you. And right now, under the circumstances, the government isn't penalizing anyone who doesn't send their child to school when they can. So look at this as a tool to empower you. Don't look at it as something to imprison you. So try and get rid of all that judgment when you're looking at your list. And then think about workability. What works for you? What works for your child? What works for your family? And how do you know if you've reached a place of workability? Well, I like to do an exercise called My Ideal Day. Write down with lots of specific details what your ideal would look like. So for example, my ideal would be waking up at 7 a.m. refreshed after a long night's sleep. I get ready, my children get ready. We go downstairs and have a family breakfast. We then all get washed and dressed, and then we head to school. And there we're greeted by a friendly teacher, and there's reminders all up around the school about washing your hands. There's markers on the floor to clearly remind children of the distances they need to be kept, the distances needed to be kept. And I feel reassured that this is a safe environment for my child. Or your ideal day might be, we wake up in the morning nice and early at 7 a.m. We go downstairs and have a family breakfast. Since my children aren't going to school, they get changed into their comfy clothes. I've laid out some books for independent reading as their first activity. And whilst they're getting on with that, I'm going to have my morning meeting at work, or I'm going to do some tidying up whilst they're getting on with their independent studies. So create and fine detail what your ideal would look like. Then once you've done that, you can then start to think about, well, what steps can I take? What actions are needed to create that? In doing this, it helps you to remove any story and gets to what is, and what you have control over. And then finally, if it's appropriate, ask your child. Ask your child their thoughts, their feelings, because they will have a say. They may want to attend school and you don't. Think about what their feelings are and how you can help come to some sort of agreement or consensus so that you're both empowered with whatever choice you make. Sorry, fumbled my words there. Because at the end of the day, you are the parent. And so overall what you say goes. But it's not about overpowering your child. It's about really listening to them, really hearing what they want. And so that you can reach a consensus that empowers them and allows them to have their voice and leaves you empowered as well. So overall, remember, this isn't about morality. There's no judgment. It's about what you feel most comfortable with as a parent. What works for you and your family. And remember, everyone's different. What works for you doesn't work for someone else. Remember to write out a list of the things that why you want to send them to school, why you don't want to send them to school. And then think about creating your ideal day. What makes you feel inspired? What works for you and your child? And remember, liaise with the schools. Talk to them. Tell them your fears. Perhaps you can come up with a plan where it's quite flexible. Maybe they only go in one day a week. And remember, whatever choice you make, it's not permanent. It's not cemented in stone. You can easily say, actually, I want to take my child out from the school. It's not working for them right now. Or perhaps you've chosen to home educate them. You've said no, you don't want the place, and then you've realised actually I do want the place. We'll talk to the school, see what they can help you and to create that so that they can reattend school. So I hope you have found this useful in terms of reaching a choice that leaves you empowered, so you are certain and confident, and that way then your child is also confident as well, rather than having any nagging feelings. And if you do any of these activities, please leave a comment. I would love to hear how it works for you, what you've chosen, what you've created, and I'd love to hear your ideal days. And remember, ask your child what their ideal day would look like as well. You'd find it really insightful and inspiring to see what your little ones, and even your big ones, teenagers, what they see as their ideal day. Thank you. Bye for now.